I've set up a couple of canes almost as if I'm in a cylinder, right? So the first thing that I always see when people start the downswing, so the downswing is a lateral motion that's controlled by the hips first, and everything moves which is known as rotation. So the hips start first, then the shoulders follow. One of the biggest faults I see when people start in the downswing is, for example, if I was to set up normally, what happens first is they get the shoulders moving the downswing first, so the shoulders initiating the downswing, the hips are kind of staying behind the shoulders. So what I want you to do is I want you to get your body in this cylinder box, okay? So the idea is if I swing over the top, then what's going to happen is my hips aren't going to rotate. So the first thing that I want to see is I want to see my left knee moving into this cane first, right? If my left knee moves into the cane first, it's like it's the kinetic change. So my hips move, my shoulders move, then I'm going to get my arms to move as well. So get to the top of the backswing, left knee moves out the way first. I'm almost feel like, think about you're walking downstairs, right? And my left foot is leading my body and walking down the stairs. So my left foot's placed down first, left knee moves out the way, shoulders move out the way, and that's going to help me start the downswing, right? It's going to help me create all that power that we want to achieve into impact. And also, when we get to the top of the backswing, obviously what we talked about in a previous video on the backswing is we want to get the shaft to shallow slightly. So how do we do that? What we want to do is we want to get this lead wrist, so think of the back of the lead wrist pointing more towards the sky as we're coming down at impact. What that does to the shaft is it naturally flattens the shaft, so almost in that position, right? So think about left hip starts the transition from there. That's going to help us create more power into impact. So tip number 2 that's going to help you improve impact. So think about impact is all that matters. Whatever we do beforehand dictates impact. But what the club does at impact is the biggest achiever for our ball flight. Okay, so what we need to do to achieve a better impact position is think about going back to the previous tip. What we talked about is opening our hips and shoulders up. So we get to the top of the backswing, our left hip opens up, shoulders open up. What I want you to do is I want you to feel like the logo on your glove is pointing more away from the target, right? So that's getting that left wrist almost in a slightly bowed position, almost in that position. So that's neutral, that's cupped, and that's bowed, right? So let's try and get it more into that position. Think about the thumb points more away from the wrist angle, so almost into that position. That's going to allow the club face to slightly close down as we're hitting the golf ball, create that de-lofted action. So as we're coming back into impact, we want the shoulder, the hands and the club shaft kind of be in a good position. The hands are slightly ahead at impact compared to the club head, but that's created by getting the shaft to almost lay down, by getting this wrist to point more towards the sky in a bowed position, and we come down, get the hands a little bit more ahead at impact, and that's going to help us rotate a little bit better. So guys, tip number 3 is what we're going to focus on is the follow through. So what I see a lot of golfers doing, think about this, right? If we get into an impact position, what tends to happen is the arms buckle up, right? So what I want you to do, that's known as a chicken wing. That is to try and manipulate the club face, to try and stop the face going left or right, to try and almost hold off that release. But the number one fault I see with that is a lot of golfers do not rotate through impact. So a lot of golfers who don't rotate through impact, where we kind of get the left wrist a little bit higher and the right wrist coming through impact, which is going to open up the club face and create a chicken wing. So what we need to feel like we're doing, right, the left arm stays straight too much through impact, the right arm flexes too much. So what we want to think about as we're coming through impact, the left wrist flexes or the left arm flexes, the right arm straightens after impact. That's going to help create maximum club head speed. So how do we do that? So think about, right, put my arms out in front of me, and if I was, let's say if I was to put the club out in front of me, if I was to turn my body, right, what happens to the arms? The arms follow with the body. It's that simple. People who buckle the arms up, it's because the body doesn't turn. So think about, if my arms are over racing my body, then I have to buckle up to try and stop the arms from over racing the body. So think about, arms and body stay at the same speed. How do we do that? For example, put the club out against your sternum, we rotate the body, get the club to move with the rotation of the sternum. So the idea of that is trying to feel like as we're coming through impact, If our chest is facing the target, our head's facing the target, our hips are facing the target, and our knees are facing the target, almost in this position, right? That's going to help you create more power into impact and start the downswing sequence off correctly. So think about these 3 tips. Think about we're walking downstairs, so we're playing baseball, we plant the left foot first. As we come into impact, we get in this left wrist in a slightly stronger position. Think about the left wrist, the thumb pointing in away from the wrist into that position, hands a little bit ahead. That's going to promote getting your hands ahead. And then from there, we're using the rotation of the body to get the arms and body to turn through into the impact position and hopefully deliver more power into impact and create more consistency. So guys, if you have any thoughts on that video, make sure you post your comments below. Let me know your thoughts on that video. Are you struggling with the backswing or the downswing? Make sure you post your comments. Let me know what you're working on in your game at the moment. Post your comments below, and thanks for listening.